Manta-Ray79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days. Alrighty, let's begin. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, off to the edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm making one for is a Dragon Empires, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene, D-BT06. And I'm going to be using this Dragon Empires, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene, D-BT04 deck as the base of the deck I'm going to build. Okie dokie, selecting the deck, entering edit deck, and off we go! Here we are in the edit deck menu, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building for today's deck profile video is a Dragon Empires, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene, deck made up of cards only available up until D-BT06. So first up, let's go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, A Brush with the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Promo Pack number 1, and finally, D-BT6, Blazing Dragon Reborn. Applying filter, and now let's begin. First up, the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck, we are playing the Ride deck, Grade 3, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard. Once per turn, cost, rest 2 rear guards. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. Second skill, action as a Vanguard, once per turn. If your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, cost, Soul Blast 5. If the cost is paid, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of cards on your number of your opponent's open rear guard circles. Choose any number of unit cards from among them, call up the rear guard, and put the rest into your soul. So for Eugene, it's the main Grade 3 to ride this deck with skills, the first skill. For the first skill, just by paying the cost, not only do you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards, but you can also increase your Vanguard's power by 10,000, giving you a chance to wipe out your opponent's field and to also give your Vanguard a huge boost of power. And the second skill, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met and you pay the cost, then you get to more or less search the top cards of your deck to superior call new rear guards equal to the number of open rear guard circles on your opponent's field, and any cards you don't call by this skill are instead moved in your soul. So with the second skill, a good way to fill out your rear guards for your offense and to also build up your soul for later soul blasts. And okie dokie, the Grade 3 Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 3 Penetrate Dragon, Try Bash. Skill, auto as a rear guard. When your Vanguard attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets +1 critical until end of battle. So for Try Bash, a pretty good Grade 3 to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks, especially for Eugene. For its skill, when your Vanguard attacks, while the conditions of its skill are met, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blast, but to also give your Vanguard an increase in critical, making it easier to pressure or finish them off with the increased critical. And affirmative, the Grade 3 Penetrate Dragon, Try Bash. We have 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, only playing 3. Next up, the Grade 3 Normal Order Best Harvest. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out and replacing it with the Grade 3. Replacing it with the Grade 3 Fierce Bullet of Duststorm, Nawful. Skill, action as a rear guard. If you have a Vanguard with Eugene in his card name, cost, bind this unit. If the cost and pay, choose up to 2 non-sentinel normal units from your drop zone, put them into your soul. If your opponent's rear guard is retired this turn, you may put all of the chosen cards on the top of your deck in any order instead of into your soul. So for Novel, he's a support card for the Eugene series with its skill. As long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can take any 2 normal non-sentinel units from your drop zone and move into your soul. But also, if the second condition of this skill is met, instead of putting to the soul, you can stack them on the top of your deck in any order. So for Novel skill, it's either a good way to build up your soul for later soul blast or to stack specific cards you wish to draw on your deck's drive check, giving you the cards you need for your later game strategy. And okie dokie, the grade 3, Fierce Bullet of Duststorm, Nawfell. We are putting 2 into the deck. 2 should be enough. And with that, we just about covered the deck's grade 3 lineup. Now it's time to get on with the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s of this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, grade 2, Cataclysmic Bullet of Duststorm, Randor. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon by Heavy Artillery of Duststorm Eugene, draw a card, choose 1 card from your drop, and put into your soul. The second skill, auto as a Vanguard or rear guard. When this unit attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, cost, counterblast 1. If the cost has been paid, soul charge 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of battle. So for Randor, it's the main grade 2 to ride this deck with its skills. The first skill, just by riding Eugene on top of Randor, not only do you get to draw a card, but then you can also build up your soul with any card from your drop zone. And the second skill, just by attacking with a Vanguard or rearguard Randor, while the conditions of the second skill are met by paying the cost, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blast, but to also give your attacking Randor more power to work with, making it easier to land his attack with. And okay, the grade 2 Cataclysmic Bullet of Duststorm, Randor. We have 1 in the Ride deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the grade 2 Strong Fortress Dragon, Gibra Brachio. Skills, first skill, action as a rear guard. If your Vanguard is Heavy Artillery of Duststorm Eugene, cost, Soul Blast 1 and rest this unit. If the cost and pay, choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And the second skill, auto as a rear guard. At the beginning of your battle phase, if your opponent has 1 or less rear guards, stand this unit, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Gibra Brachio, another support card for the Eugene series, with his skills, the first skill, just by paying the cost while the conditions of the first skill are met, you get to retire 1 of your opponent's rear guards, clearing up their field to make it easier for you to manage the game at your own pace. And the second skill, at the beginning of your battle phase, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, not only do you get to restand Brachio, but also give him plus 5,000 power, thus making it a good way to not only combo with the first skill, which you rest Gibra Brachio to retire rear guards, but to also turn your Brachio into a potential 15,000 point attacker for your front row. And confirm the grade 2 Strong Fortress Dragon, Gibra Brachio. We have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the grade 2 Howitzer of Duststorm, Dustin. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the rear guard, if your Vanguard is Heavy Artillery of Duststorm Eugene, cost, put a card from your hand into your soul. If the cost and pay, draw a card, choose 1 of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rear guards and retire it. And the second skill, auto, is a rear guard. When this unit attacks, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and pay, this unit gets plus 2,000 power until end of battle for each of your opponent's open rear guard circles. And so for Dustin, another support card for the Eugene series with its skills. The first skill, just by calling Dustin the rear guard while the conditions of the skill are met by paying the cost, not only do you get to draw more cards, but to also clear out your opponent's field of rear guards. And the second skill, just by attacking Dustin by paying the cost, you get to give potentially 2,000 power for every open rear guard circle on your opponent's field, thus turning your Dustin into a powerful front row attacker for your Eugene decks. And alrighty, the grade 2 Howitzer of Duststorm, Dustin. We have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Twin Bullet Dust Storm Travis. Skill, action as a rear guard once per turn. If your opponent's rear guard is retired this turn, cost, Counter Blast 1. If the cost and paid, Soul Charge 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So for Travis, a pretty good card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks, especially for Eugene. With its skill, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, you can also clear your opponent's field of rear guards, and then turn your Travis into a potential 20,000 point attacker for your front row. And okay, the Grade 2 Twin Bullet of Dust Storm Travis. We have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. And with that, we just about finished the deck's Grade 2 lineup. Now it's time to get on with the Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1s of this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 1 Gunning of Dust Storm Nigel. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon by Cataclysmic of Dust Storm Randor, Soul Charge 1. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your main phase, cost, Counter Blast 1 and retire this unit. If the cost and pay, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So for Nigel, it's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. If its skill is the first skill, just by riding Randor on top of Nigel, you can build up your soul for later Soul Blast. And then the second skill, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met and you pay the cost, you can retire another of your opponent's rear guards, giving you an easier chance to clear your opponent's field, giving you a better advantage. And affirmative, the Grade 1 Gunning of Dust Storm Nigel. We have 1 in the Ride deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Twin Buckler Dragon Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Twin Buckler Dragon, he's a perfect guard for the Dragon Empire Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block 1 enemy attack. But Twin Buckler also features an ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Twin Buckler a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate, last resort situations. And confirm, the Grade 1 Twin Buckler Dragon, we have 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, only playing 3. Next up, for the Grade 1 lineup, we are putting in this one, the Grade 1 Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude. Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills for skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard is triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Play this if it costs of, discard a card from your hand if your Vanguard is Grade 3 or less. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard, and like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When activated and paying the cost of discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block 1 attack. But ideally, Elementaria Sanctitude is best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in having a Vanguard of triple drive, for example, Grade 4s or units that increase their drive check by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, your Elementaria Sanctitude can serve as a potential no-cost perfect guard. And alright, the Grade 1 Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude, we are putting 1 into the deck. There we go. And next up, for the Grade 1 lineup, the Grade 1 Strong Shark Dragon Geese Fort. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out. And in its place, we are putting in the Grade 1. The Grade 1. Here we go. The Grade 1 Twin Strike of Duststorm Orlando. Skills, first skill, action. From the Soul. If your opponent's rear guards retired this turn, cost, Counter Blast 1. If the cost has been paid, call this card to the rear guard circle. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When your Grade 3 or greater Vanguard attacks, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost and paid, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Orlando, a pretty good card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks, especially for Eugene. With its skills, the first skill, while Orlando is in your soul, while the conditions of the skill are met, by paying the cost, you can then superior call Orlando to serve as a potential front row attacker, back row booster, or a rear guard whose skill you wish to take advantage of later on. Any second skill, just by attacking with a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, as long as you don't mind moving Orlando from your rear guard to your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but to also give your Vanguard a little more power to work with. And okie dokie, the Great One, Twin Strike of Duststorm Orlando. We are putting in 4 into the deck. 4 is fine, and next up for the Great One lineup, we are putting in, let's see, what would be a good addition to the Great One lineup? Tough choice. How about the Great One Bolt Shaker Dragon? Skill, auto as a rear guard. When your opponent's rear guards retire during your turn. Cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Bolt Shaker Dragon, it's a pretty good card to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks. With its skill, as long as an opponent's rear guards retired, you can pay the cost to increase your Bolt Shaker Dragon's power by 5,000. And the best part is, this skill is stackable. For the more rear guards you retire and the more Soul Blast you pay, you can keep stacking more and more power to Bolt Shaker, turning him into a potential powerful front row attacker or back row booster. And alrighty, the Great One Bolt Shaker Dragon, we are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is fine. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Great One lineup. Next, let's go on to the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s of this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Double Gun of Duststorm, Bart. Skill, auto, when this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Bart, he's the starting unit of this deck. And like any other starting unit in the D standard format, he features the same skill and activation. When running the top up while you're the second to go in the game, draw a card. And for Bart, we have 1 in the right deck, leaving that way. And next, let's get on to the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we are playing the Great 0, Dragon, DD King of Resurgence, Drag Vita, Over Trigger, Skill, Trigger, Additional Effect, choose one of your Vanguards and restand it. So for Drag Vita, it's the Over Trigger for the Dragon Empire Nation, and like any other Over Trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get to draw 1 card and give one of your units plus 100 million power. But he also features an ability unique to him alone. Its skill, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, you get to restand your Vanguard for another attack, thus giving you a better offense by letting you attack your Vanguard again and getting the chance to draw more triggers with the increased drive check. And so for the Great 0, Dragon, DD King of Resurgence, Drag Vita, Over Trigger, we have 1 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Great 0, Conduct Spark Dragon, Critical Trigger. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out and replacing it with the Great 0. The Great 0, Blaze War Monk, Sogil, Critical Trigger. We are putting 4 into the deck. There we go. Next up, the Great 0, Burning Flail Dragon, Critical Trigger, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit in your soul. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Burning Flail Dragon, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks with skill. After boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Burning Flail from your rear guard to your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but to also give your remaining attackers in the field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. And so for the Great 0, Burning Flail Dragon, critical trigger, we have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Great 0, Flare Veil Dragon, draw trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Flare Veil Dragon, another powerful draw trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks with its skill. When used to guard with, while the conditions of its skill are met, your Flare Veil Dragon can then serve as a potential 10,000 point shield on its own. And confirm the Grade 0, Flare Veil Dragon, draw trigger, we have 3 in the deck. Leaving it that way. Next up, the Great Zero, White Light Dragon, Parasolus, Heal Trigger. We are taking this card out and replacing it with the Great Zeros. The Great Zeros, Stealth Fiend, Amavira, Heal Trigger, Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battles its second attack this turn or more. So for Amavira, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks with skill. When used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, you can then turn your Amavira into a potential 25,000 point shield on her own. Ideally, Amavira is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in restanding, attacking multiple times with their units, Vanguard, Rearguard. And alrighty, the Great Zero, Stealth Fiend, Amavira, Heal Trigger. We are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is fine. Next up, the Great Zero, Cure Flare Draco Kit, Heal Trigger, Skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger fit ability, or if its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Cure Flare, another powerful heal trigger to play in your Dragon Empire Nation decks with skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, your Cure Flare then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on its own. Ideally, Cure Flare Draco Kit is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing their attacking unit's critical, Vanguard or Rearguard by skill or card effect. And affirmative, the Great Zero, Cure Flare Draco Kit, Heal Trigger. We are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is enough, and if that, the deck has been built. Card effects explained, saving the deck. Overwrite deck being built, yes. And for the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 3, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene. 3 Grade 3, Penetrate Dragon, Tribash. 2 Grade 3, Fierce Bull of Duststorm, Naufel. 1 Grade 2, Cataclysmic Bull of Duststorm, Randor. 4 Grade 2, Strong Fortress Dragon, Giver of Brachio. 4 Grade 2, Howitzer of Duststorm, Dustin. 4 Grade 2, Twin Bull of Duststorm, Travis. 1 Grade 1, Gutting of Duststorm, Nigel. 3 Grade 1, Twin Buckler Dragon. 1 Grade 1, Elementaria Sanctitude. 4 Grade 1, Twin Strike of Duststorm, Orlando. 2 Grade 1, Bolt Shaker Dragon. And 1 Grade 0, Double Gun of Duststorm, Bart, starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1 Overtrigger, Drak Vita. 8 critical triggers. 3 draw triggers. And 4 heal triggers. Alrighty, deck built, card effects explained. Now it's time to test out the deck, so let's leave the edit deck menu. Returning to main menu, off to the fight menu. Selecting CPU fight. Selecting the deck I just built, the Dragon Empire's Heavy Artillery of Duststorm Eugene D-Booster06 deck. Selecting the deck, selecting the opponent. I'm gonna test it out, this deck out on. I'm testing out on Haru Shinagawa, normal difficulty, and the battle begins. Let's get started. Here we are in the fight. We're gonna decide who goes first, and so a rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to scissors one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to paper, I win, going first. Drawing our starting hands, I got a critical, a heal, a Travis, Orlando, and Tribash. Not bad. Redrawing trigger units, keeping normal units, redraw. Ah, the same cards. Alright, my turn, I draw. I ride from the right deck. Gunning up Duststorm, Nigel. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 heal trigger, Cure Flare Trickle Kit, discard, and ride. Nigel ridden, and that's the end of my turn. It's my opponent's turn. My opponent's riding the Great One beneath the Brilliant Light Tigria, drawing 1 card and calling the rear guard Painkiller, Faciata, and Faciata. Okay, a full barrage, so I'm gonna let the first attack go through, no guard. Ow! Damage check. Heal trigger, not bad, but not good either. At least I got more power. All to Vanguard. And now it's 1 pass from the Vanguard. No guard, can take a chance. Ah, draw trigger, the attack goes through. All effects to Vanguard, and the attack goes through. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. At least the remaining attack cannot go through. My turn, I stand and draw. I ride from the right deck. Cataclysmic Bull of Duststorm, Randor, and for the right deck cost, I'm discarding Tribash, discard, and ride. Then Nigel's skill, I'm going to Soul Charge 1, Soul Charge. Ah, draw trigger, come on! Did it have to be a trigger unit? Fine, whatever, I can still make this work, so I'm calling to the rear guards, Travis, and Orlando. Heading to the battle phase. First up, Orlando attacks the rear guard Faciata with no booster on the right side. 8,000, 8,000. The attack goes through and bang! 1 rear guard down. Well, less to worry about. Now Randor attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Soul Charge. Ah, not another draw trigger. Come on! The attack goes through. Drive check. Ah, no trigger, come on! And so the attack goes through, bang bang bang, 1 damage, no trigger, safe. And now, my Travis attacks the Vanguard, 10,000, 8,000. My opponent guards 1 draw trigger, Parabi. The attack fails, and that's the end of my turn. It's my opponent's turn. Not a good start. My opponent rides the Great 2, Tigria. Tigria's skill, revealing Painkiller Angel and calling to rear guard's rest. Calling Drilling Angel. Drilling attacks the Vanguard, and I intercept with Travis. Intercept, 15,000. The attack is blocked, and ka-chink, safe. Now here comes Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, taking the hit. Drive check. Ah, critical, come on! That's 2 lucky triggers, how'd you so lucky? So 2 damage to me, here it comes. Ow! Damage check first. Draw trigger, finally, something good. All effects to Vanguard. I drew, heal trigger, come on! Second check. No trigger. Now boosted by Painkiller. Faciata attacks the Vanguard for 26,000. I guard with the heal trigger, Cure Flare Trickle Kit, 30,000. Guard. And the attack is blocked. Ka-chink. Safe. This is a really rough start for me. Painkiller skill, he draws a card. And it's my turn. I stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Heavy Artillery of Duststorm, Eugene. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding. This is a tough choice. I'm discarding the critical, Sogyo, discard, and ride. Randor skill. I choose a card from the drop zone, move it to Soul. I drew a card. I drew a Perfect Guard. Sweet. For the card going to the Soul, I'm moving Tribash into the Soul. Next, I move Orlando to the back row, and I call Give up Brachio to the rear guard, calling over. Yep, calling it over here. And next, I call Travis to the rear guard, calling. Next, Brachio skill. Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast, rest, and retire 1 rear guard. I retire Painkiller Angel. Retire. Next, I'm activating Travis' skill. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Soul Charge 1. Soul Charge, Orlando, and retiring Drilling Angel, retire. Orlando gets a huge power boost, and now from the Soul, I'm activating... Nope, hold on, skill number 1, activating... Hold on, go to the Soul, and... There we go. Activating Orlando's skill, I Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Superior Call Orlando from the Soul to the rear guard over here. And now I'm gonna activate Eugene's skill, resting 2 rear guards, resting 2 Orlandos, and retiring 1 rear guard, retire Fasciata, and power to the Vanguard. That should be enough. On to battle phase. Brachio skill, restand, plus 5,000 power. There we go. Now, first up, Brachio attacks the Vanguard, 15,000 power. She guards to be critical, the attack is blocked. No worries. Now, Eugene attacks the Vanguard. Skill of Orlando in the center to the Soul, plus 5,000 power. That should do it. 28,000, not gonna activate the other one. The attack was through. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, Travis, come on, second check. Ah, no triggers, come on. So, bang, 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 1 damage. Ah, critical, come on, the lucky trigger. Every turn she got lucky. Travis attacks the Vanguard, 20,000. The attack goes through, and bang, 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 1 damage, damage check. Heal trigger, trigger effect wasted. Well, it kind of worked out for me, so end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's riding the Grade 3, one who walks the path of light, Thegria. Grade 2 Thegria skill. Yes, the over trigger is out of the deck. Thegria skill, Counterblast, and Superior Call Drilling Angel. Angel skill, into the Soul, he moves in. Calling another Drilling Angel, another card to the Soul, calling Painkiller. Alright, there are 2 Painkillers in the Soul, and calling Nanaful. 18,000 to the Vanguard. Alright, this is a tough choice for me. I got 3 perfect guards. I guess I'll let the first attack go through. No guard. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Orlando. Here comes Painkiller skill, draw 1 card. He's attacking the rear guard with 10,000. I guard with 1 Travis, 5,000, 15,000, guard. Brachio is safe. You're welcome, Brachio. Now a final attack from the Vanguard. 13,000 and 13,000. I perfect guard with a Elementary Sanctitude activated. I discard 1 Twin Buckler. Perfect guard activated. Now here comes the attack. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger. Bedivere, second check. Draw trigger. Ah, another lucky trigger. How is she so lucky the whole game? Fascia skill and drop and draw. Kachink, safe. And if my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Another perfect guard. Not too shabby. I Persona Ride Eugene. Here we go. Persona Ride. Power up, draw a card. I drew a Bolt Shaker. Not too bad. I call Bolt Shaker to the rear guard over here. Next, I'm gonna activate my... what should I activate? Alright, I'm gonna activate Eugene's skill. I rest Orlando and Brachio. Rest these 2. Retire 1 rear guard. I retire Nanaful, plus 10,000 to Vanguard. Next, I'm activating Bolt Shaker's skill. Soul Blast 1. I Soul Blast 1 draw trigger. Soul Blast, plus 5,000. And now, Travis's skill. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast. Soul Charge 1, Soul Charge, and retire the front row Drilling Angel. Power up the Travis, and now power up skill from Bolt Shaker, Soul Blast 1, Soul Blasting another draw trigger, Soul Blast, and plus 5,000 power to Bolt. And for the last icing on the cake, I'm activating one of the Orlandos in the Soul. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Superior Call 1 Orlando from the Soul to the Rear Guard. Call! That's all, so on to the battle phase. Brachio skill, Restand, plus 5,000 power. And we're ready! First up, Brachio attacks the Vanguard, 25,000 power. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage check. Ah, another lucky trigger. How does she keep getting so lucky? Fine, whatever, boosted by Orlando. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 41,000 power. Skill of Orlando on the right side, from Rear Guard into Soul. 5,000 power to the Vanguard. That's all. Perfect Guard. Discarding for the Perfect Guard cost a draw trigger, Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, Bolt Shaker, second check. Come on, give me something good. Over trigger, sweet, just what I needed. All effects to the Vanguard, 100 million power and restand. I still have a chance to win the game. And here we go. Eugene attacks the Vanguard, 100 million power, not activating my Orlando skill. Another Perfect Guard, come on! Discarding a... Alright, Twin Drive, first check. Grade 3, Eugene, Persona Right Material, second check, come on! Alright, critical trigger, lucky for me! All effects to the Rear Guard, Travis. Power and critical added, and my opponent only has 2 cards left. Only a Perfect Guard can block the remaining attack, so boosted by Bolt Shaker, Travis attacks the Vanguard, 58,000 power. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, 2 damage. First, no trigger, safe. Second check, come on, nothing. No trigger, safe. 6 damage, I win. Huh. That was a pretty okay fight. Despite a really rough start in the beginning, I got to at least somewhat try out some of the new cards in the deck and make some of the new changes worth it. So I got win, attacked with 100,000 more power, perfect guarded, drew an over trigger, did a Persona Ride, 6 turns passed, did a Superior Call, retired 5 opposing units, and drew 3 more times in 1 turn, pressing A to go next, leaving the fight and returning to the fight menu. Leaving fight menu, back to main menu, back to main menu, onto edit deck menu. And if that the deck's been built, Cardfight explained, and just finished testing out the deck in front of you, so first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and see you all soon!